Welcome to the Freelance Tribe. Here we talk with skilled freelancers about their professional journey. Stay tuned for real-life experiences to learn and actionable steps to take to improve your freelancing career. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Code Control and 9am.works, and my guest is Mina Kleid, a freelance senior mobile engineer skilled in both front-end and backend technologies, and a certified Scrum Master who is also passionate about not only building and shipping native mobile applications at scale, but also supporting teams in reaching their end users faster. So, welcome, Mina.
Hello, Yuri. Thanks for the good introduction. I wouldn't
Super
have
happy.
managed to introduce myself better.
Finally, just another conversation just after 1.5 year pause, but here we are. So, I went through your LinkedIn and definitely you're a great expert. You're an experienced freelancer and you work with different people on different teams daily. And there was a feedback on your LinkedIn. So Mina is a great colleague to work with, great laughs, good company, very social, certainly someone you want in the team. So I immediately wanted to talk to you about like how to be this great team player. So what being social means for you?
Yeah, I think it all comes from like authenticity. Like being in a team, it's like people you spend more time with and the closest people you have in your life. So it's actually people like from an authentic way. This is most of my daily interactions with humans. So like in a way, it's like, okay, the first thing I try to establish with the team is that we are here to help each other thrive in a way. So
Yeah.
everybody wakes up in the morning, and my goal is, okay, how can I make my life easier for the people I interact with on a daily basis? But not only this, also how to help the team reach their goals, how to support the people around, how to listen even to different opinions. So this all of the things, as long as everybody in the team has the intention to make this team better, um, even if they think in the wrong direction. At the end, in any conversation, when we sit in, yeah, this is the wrong direction, but we want the team to go to the other direction. So I think for me, it goes back into two things, like authenticity and building the trust and trusting the people that everybody has the team, or making the team better is their priority.
And for me, what you are saying about making people lives easier and better sounds like giving away without any expectations. But usually people like, I will take everything from people. So how did you get this mindset?
Of like, no, I mean, there's definitely expectation, but this is also on a human level. There's
Mm,
always going to be expectations, always going to be history, but at the end, go back to the center of things. Wherever things get, there's conflict, there's different opinions, there's people want to drive something their own way. I think at the end, the bottom of things. Also, I do it myself. Sometimes I get stuck in my opinion or get stuck in my view. But it's always good to remember once we go to a meeting where it gets very escalated, like, why are we here today? Are we here for everybody to have their personal agenda, or are we here actually to make the team go better and help the others in this process to go there?
it also sounds like it's easier to also work with people who you already know because like you already met them, you kind of like have laughs together, maybe have some beers together, maybe virtual beers, who knows. And what is your approach? How do you approach meeting new people when you're joining a new team as a freelancer?
I think it's always, or like, yeah, most of the work I've been doing lately has been remote work.
Hmm.
So I can talk about this exact meeting or being on site is a different thing because there are always going to be these recurring events like team lunches, coffee after work. So it takes a little bit of more effort by being remote. So I try to create this kind of framework there to meet people on a one-on-one basis. So for me, it goes once I go into a new team, I try to set one-on-one with every person I have in the team and also the peripheral on the team because these are the people that are going to make your work go easier. So it's good to meet with them on a personal level, understand them, understand their work, build a connection with them. And then second level, when working remotely, I try as soon as possible to do an on-site week with the team.
Mm.
This makes a huge difference. From my past experience, this makes a very huge difference. Then before meeting people face to face physically in the room and after, there's a different connection. And from building this personal, um, let's say personal base, this can be built on top of this. Yeah, somebody also like we come in as engineers, product owners, analytics specialists, but all of us are in the end humans. So everybody has their own life, have their own worries, have their own. So if somebody having a bad day, we'll just like talk with them. Hey, what's going on? How's it going at home? Like how did this thing go? And then from this thing, also from authenticity and care, like this is a person I'm working on a daily basis. They're gonna have bad days and good days. And in the bad days, how can you support them? If somebody's having a tough day, all right, I can take over this ticket for you, or I can go into this meeting for you, and this builds the care and connection somehow.
How do you know if they are having a bad day?
Um, I mean, you notice it sometimes. Somebody's not focused in the daily, or some people also mention it. Hey, like my son is sick and I'm stuck at home with them. So it depends. Or like if you see somebody in a meeting with, just like the example of a sick kid. Yeah, see the kid is around them. It's like, yeah, how can I support you in this? Like, can I take something away from your hands so you can focus on the task or like on the event that's happening in your personal life?
And coming back to this one-on-one meetings that you try to establish with every team member, what is your structure? What do you usually talk about on those one-on-one teams meetings?
Yeah, I think in the beginning I just set the mood that this is very unofficial, personal to connect, and then just try to flow with it, ask about like yeah, how they're doing, how's it going lately, where they live, what's their situation in life, just to connect them on a pure personal level. And then maybe in the second half of it, either go to their work, like what they do, how can we connect on the work we do, or just try to set another one that's work related. So it's kind of both things. I want to know them personally, but also I want to know what do they do for work and how can we collaborate in a better way. So I just had this with a project I joined recently, and we work. There's a sales team because it's a small company, so it's also good to connect with the sales team and we had this amazing discussion how I, as an engineer, can make their life easier and how they can actually feed back to me. And it was super nice discussion about how actually it's very two different functions, but how actually they can collaborate and connect together.
Do you have your favorite questions to ask people to understand better their human side?
Nothing written in stone. I think everyone's different. Sometimes there's people who are not talkative. Sometimes people are talkative. Sometimes there are people who are, yeah, some of them are very excited about the stuff they do. So I think for me, it's just go with the flow and talk with the people.
How humor helps you in your interactions with team members?
I think. Yeah, I don't know quite like a precise answer to this, but in but in general, I think it goes back to make everybody life easier. Like why not put some jokes in and lighten the mood a bit? Because like yeah, also at work, especially in the remote setup, all the meetings are serious. So it's also good to have this kind of fun element in it. Yeah, and also goes on the personal thing, you understand the people more, you understand like this kind of insider jokes once you connect with them a bit more. So I think, yeah, it just comes back to being connected to the people around.
Yeah, I feel like smile makes everything better and a good laugh makes everything better.
Yeah, that's definitely.
We had a previous episode with Tom Kazaczynski, and he is also a stand-up comedian, and he always like, yeah, always when I'm meeting people, like I'm always have a lot of jokes, and it always helps me. Sometimes they are not working, and then like, okay, but in general, yeah. Have you ever had some jokes that you told and it didn't work?
Yeah, a lot of times, but I always put it in the category of dad jokes. Like the jokes that nobody understands. Like, oh yeah, just my dad jokes life.
So yeah, it's a good way to get out of it.
Yeah.
Talking about a little bit misunderstandings. So if you have some misunderstandings or disagreements in the team, it definitely might happen during the working process. So how do you deal with them? How do you approach them?
I think always I have again, working in a remote setup, you can keep like the tone is different while texting. The stuff are very different. So I think for me, once I notice that something has been coming and going for one or two times without reaching a clear end, I was like, just put it straight away to a meeting. Um, and then it's all about the intention. So let's talk to the meeting, and I'm not coming into the meeting trying to prove my point. I think I
Mhm.
come into the meeting again trying to understand why the other person is thinking this way. And you would be surprised if somebody has a very strong opinion once they, like everybody wants somebody to listen to them. So once you listen to people actually with the intention to understand them, this makes a big difference. So their point is heard, you understand it, and then from there you can build on top of it. And you can understand also why they are having this kind of opinion. So I think for me, this is always how to solve misunderstandings because everybody has their own point of view. Listen first, understand their point of view, take yours, try to find a common ground between both, and then build on top of that.
But sometimes people are getting defensive, and it's so, for example, if you are taking something to like a broad meeting and you talk to different people and you connect with them, and then they're like, oh, you want to blame me, you want to show that I'm doing a bad thing, and then like, no, they're closed, they're defensive. How to deal with this kind of situations?
Yeah, I think also I'm not a big fan of discussing this kind of matters in broader meetings because also
Okay.
like everybody gets a bit defensive. So I think also it's a golden rule. Once you see this happening in the big meeting and some people say, okay, let's stop here, take this in a different meeting in a way where it's more a circle, and then we can update the big group later.
Mm.
Because they're definitely in front of all these like managers and some people get defensive and really want to prove that they are right. But once you take this away, again, this is the power of listening or being heard. Take this away, make them a smaller group, really listen to them and have them heard. And then once this happens, from my experience, let's say 90% of the time, they just soften and yeah, become more open once they're heard.
Am I hearing it correctly that to go before going to like broad meeting with managers, you have like this small one-on-one meetings, you prepare people, and then you go to this broad big meeting where everyone is happy, everyone is knowing what they're doing, and they are
No, no, no.
working as a great team.
No, I meant if it happens that there's this big discussion and there are tens of people in the meeting and in a broader meeting, I don't push it further in this one because defensive people will be more defensive in a bigger group. So if this happens in a bigger group,
Oh, okay.
take it out of the big group, discuss it on a smaller scale, and then so like this would say, okay, let's take it later. We're gonna discuss it with this person X, and then we can update you later and in the end of the day about this whole topic that we've been discussing for the last 15 minutes. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So, what is one thing that you'd advise freelancers to keep in mind to be more social and open with their team members?
Um, yeah, I think not. I think this is the thing about freelancers. You are seen that somebody who's coming in for a couple of months doing a bunch of work and leaving. And from my experience, could have been like freelancing and consulting for the last 8 years. Once you show that you care, everything changes. So if you come in, you care about the product, you care about the team, you care about the company, even if you're leaving in 3 months, you never know. So you have a contract for 3 months. You can come in with an attitude, just going to do my job and leave, or you can come in with an attitude, I actually care about this. I care about the people, the product, the company, the team. And then from here, this is how you create the connections with the people. And you never know. It's like putting in seeds somewhere. And even if it's a 3 month, maybe in 1 year, these people, okay, we have this person that was really, even if they were there for 3 months, but they cared. Um,
Yeah.
let's bring them again rather than somebody who came in, dropped some code and left.
You know, it's interesting. I had this conversation with Balaj Hussein, a Code Control community member, and he also told this thing that when I'm going to a new team, I'm always having this intention to make friends there. I'm not thinking that I'm here and I'm out like in some months. I'm always going to make friends. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I hear from your side.
Yeah, that's always, yeah. I mean, at the end, it's a word of connections. Doesn't matter how good you are at the end, it's the connections, and people remember, yeah, the good connections they had.
Yeah, totally. You know, Mina, I really wish to have the sky's the limit, but time is the limit. So the final
Mhm.
question, what is your favorite food?
It's the Korean bibimbap.
Got
I
it.
can eat
Yeah.
it every day, all day.
For breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah,
dinner.
always.
Got it. Got it. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, Mina. And it's
Thank
been
you.
such a pleasure to hear and learn from
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thanks for the good questions. It's really interesting.
And thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, hit the like button on 5 stars and share it with your friend. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.